You had to develop thick skin with those gaming lobbies because they would be online like,
see, I know you were a black person playing this game because I can hear them Negro lips just flapping.
People think TikTok is the epitome of meme culture. No. Early YouTube was early YouTube is unmatched. Early YouTube was some of the best content you could ever have in your life. The fact that there are police officers out there without a college degree always worried me, for the simple fact that you have people's livelihood and also the power to dictate situations that normal civilians don't have the ability to utilize the same amount of authority.
you need to live in the community that you police. Welcome back. This is the Porch Light Theory, episode 7. I'm Tristan, and here we have unfiltered conversations, but sometimes it is necessary. The coolest brother in the room is here with us right now. Nick, what's good, bro?
Nothing much. You know, we cool, and even if we ain't good, we still gonna make it happen.
I know that's right. You know what? That moment just reminds me of when Webbie was doing that pre-recording interview with Charlemagne the God in them. He was like, yeah, this is Charlemagne. Well, I mean, Charlemagne and DJ Envy and Angela Yee. And this is weird because I make it do what it do. Sweet Jones. Yeah.
Hold on.
I don't know why that moment reminded me of that.
I got a degree. You're not gonna do me like that.
Webbie is a prolific member in the hip hop community.
Oh, I'm aware. It's just in case people don't know, and this is just something personal about me. Every year for the past 2 years, when it comes, you do your whatever streaming service you use for your music at the end of the year, they do that roundup.
Mhm.
Webbie is always in my top 5. I want you to know, Savage Life 2 is bumping every day in my car on the way to work. I gotta have some Webbie in my system to be able to get ready for my corporate life.
Need some Webbie in your system.
Honestly, the world would be a better place if Webbie was still putting out music.
You know what's crazy is that I saw a video of Webbie and he was doing just fine. He was golfing not so long ago.
I will say this. People don't give him enough credit for holding it down when Boosie was in jail. Webbie held down the music scene over there for such a long time and in such a way that embodied being from Louisiana. Like, Webbie is a part of the Southern culture and Southern music. You gotta give that man his flowers. In case no one does it this year, I'm gonna give Webbie his flowers.
You know what throws me off? Webbie's a millennial just like us.
No way. How old is Webbie?
He's 39. Because for me growing up, I always thought Webbie was in his 30s.
We're old. We're cooked, bro. We cooked.
This whole time.
We're cooked.
This whole time he's been our age. He's been in our age range. When I think of stuff, no. We are not unks. We big bro.
I am an uncle.
We are big bro.
I am an uncle. My nephew's going off to college. Do you know how old I am? I'm not that old, but still.
Figuratively, you are still big bro. There is a ranking to this, okay? I refuse to be called unk, okay? You reach unk status when you hit 35.
Well,
okay?
Technically, you're not unk because your sister.
I'm still big bro.
Your sister don't have kids, so yeah, you're not unk, but you're unk.
Yeah, literally, I'm not unk. Figuratively,
brother, you're
I'm still
older
not
than
unk
me.
yet.
Yes, you're unk.
No, I'm big bro.
No, you're unk.
There's a big difference. I'm telling you that we've already there have been discussions about this online. There have been discussions about this online.
I don't care.
Okay, peep this.
All right,
I was saying,
I'm listening.
Little boy, 18 to 14, because I'm not gonna call you a LN.
So 14 to 18,
young man,
little boy.
Yeah, young man, 15 to 25. Okay.
I'll give you that.
Big bro, 26 to 35.
Okay.
36 to 44.
But bro, you 50.
OG, 45 to 55. That's fair.
45 to
That's
52.
fair.
45 to 52. 50, 55, you getting close to AARP age.
I'm still a big bro. All right, some people have it like this. Some people have it like this. 13 to 24, you a young brother, because I'm not calling you a YN. I'm not gonna call you that. 25 to 35, you big bro. 36 to 48, you 49 to 60, you old school. You pops, you old head.
Okay.
Is that better?
Okay. All right. You know,
We still big bro.
I'll meet
We
you in the
still
middle
big
there.
bro.
I'll meet you in the
Okay.
middle there.
We are still big bro.
I will say this though, just based on that criteria and what I've seen recently, it just made me, think back on life. 24 was one of the most insignificant ages ever.
Elaborate, please.
I don't know. Like, something about when I was 24, I just don't remember that. Like, there was nothing significant that happened when I was 24. And I don't know why.
How much drinking did you do?
Why would you assume that it would be due to me drinking?
Because you say you don't remember much out of it. I'm pretty sure you blacked out multiple times
Actually,
in your young life.
No, actually, my tolerance is very high. I could hold my liquor. I didn't black out. Actually, I can count on one hand how many times I have. Because you know why? Because I can hold my liquor. You know what comes with that? Knowing how
Tell
to
me.
make people think that you're drinking all night when you're actually not.
I've never blacked out. I can say that with whole confidence. I've never blacked out. Never. Have I been too inebriated? Absolutely. A few times.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Have I had a little more than I was supposed to? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But did I ever black out and not remember what happened the previous night? No, never had that happen to me ever.
I've lived with you at 2 points in my life.
Mhm.
Yes, you have.
No, I have not. I can say it with whole confidence. I've never blacked out.
Mm-hmm.
Never blacked out. Wrong nigga. But try again. Never blacked out.
I'm glad you believe that.
Because it's fact.
I'm glad you believe that.
We can talk off camera on what you think those two incidents were.
I'm glad you know it was 2.
You said it was 2.
I'm glad you know that.
Okay. Either you're trying to troll me and you think it's cute because you're doing this for entertainment purposes.
Bitch, I'm not cute. I'm beautiful.
This is a Dodge.
This is a Dodge.
This is a Dodge.
I'm not mustard, bitch. I'm ketchup. See this suit? You see this suit?
Yeah, Charles Xavier. Shut the hell up, Charles. You know who I am?
Not my head, Charles.
Who more going to fight these Shaw? Who more going to fight these Shaw?
He's in my head. Shut the fuck up, Charles. Shut up.
Now we're going to sound like some unks because the young generation, they'll never know what it was like to just go on YouTube one day. Nah, bro, screw that. I'm pulling up the video right now.
Bitch, who you fucking with? I'm the motherfucking juggernaut, bitch.
Folks don't know. Folks do not know about this gym, all right?
People think TikTok is the epitome of meme culture. No. Early YouTube was early YouTube is unmatched. Early YouTube was some of the best content you could ever have in your life.
The greatest. Here we go.
I'm a juggernaut, bitch. You motherfucker. I'm gonna whoop your ass. Silly. Not home. Who the fuck I am? I'm the juggernaut. Hey. Shut the fuck up, Charles. I'm gonna beat your ass. Too fast. You better run, Charles. Get that shit out of my face, bitch. Don't you know the fuck I am? Oh, she's fucking with my helmet. I got this shit in 4th grade. Oh no!
My face.
Never pimp smack your ass, bitch. You my hooker now.
Yeah, some of the jokes did not age well.
They did not age well. You my hooker now. What?
Yeah.
What?
Take my pride. Dare I say that? Hey, with jokes like that could have led a young brother into that manosphere path, that red pill path so easily.
Smack your ass,
Man.
bitch.
If Oh man, the humor was just so. Yeah, the humor
back
was different back
then.
then.
Oh no, back
The humor
then
was
people would
different.
not survive Xbox lobbies back then.
The humor was so different. Goodness gracious.
Oh
that
no, like
that was
not,
prime. See, I was laughing at that type of stuff. I had no
we both
business
were.
watching that.
No,
We
like
had no business watching it. We had no business laughing at that.
we mean it when we say most people would have lost their jobs if we were in this political climate that we are now, and the pop culture climate that we are also in when it comes to certain sensitivities. Because, brother, those Xbox Live lobbies would have had people losing jobs left and right.
Oh my
Like, oh
gosh.
my goodness. If they could, the way that if they could have tied people's Xbox Live accounts to their heinous comments that they were saying over Xbox Live back then, oh, whew,
Mm-hmm.
it was bad back then. It was bad.
I might. This could be a hot take. This could be a hot take, bro. Because of those gaming lobbies like Call of Duty, Halo, and all that stuff back in the day. That was the seed that was planted for what we see now as the manosphere and the red pill content. Because you had a lot of people say a lot of stuff behind these microphones, and they were like, I can get away with it because you will never find me.
It's the same thing that happened because of Gamergate, remember? There was such a prolific amount of content creators and just regular gamers that came out of nowhere that were voicing these like heinous like ideologies and just broad topics that you're just like, oh, bro, I just got off of working a whole like 8 to 12 hour shift. I'm not trying to, I'm not that serious about life, bro. I'm just trying to play a game. Like,
I remember when PewDiePie just randomly said the N word in one of his games. I remember that.
The internet does not forget. That's one thing that I've learned very quickly. One thing is forever, and that's anything you put on the internet.
You had to develop thick skin with those gaming lobbies because they would be online like.
See, I know you a black person playing this game because I can hear them Negro lips just flapping.
As much air you breathing in, I can hear it. Yep. And that's that's one of them black noses. All that air you inhaling.
That is some wild stuff to say. If you
can go on any COD lobby / content creators like profile, and you will find where they have like highlights or bloopers where there's just that random racist person just being right. Kostif is one of my favorite Call of Duty content creators, and he goes in on a lot of those people that are just randomly racist, and it's funny.
You know what's funny is it'd be the most racist ones that be the worst at gaming. The most racist ones be the most trash at gaming.
Do you want to know what?
Trash.
You want to know where you can find them? On a previous generation console.
Because they got left behind. They couldn't adapt. They couldn't evolve because they want to make everything great again.
There's still people on Xbox 360 lobbies playing Black Ops 2.
There are still people that play Counter-Strike. That game is what?
Whoa. But one thing we're not going to do is piss off the CSGO community. We not going to do that.
They really going to come after us like that?
Yes, they are toxic. No, we are not going after CSGO community.
Which one would you? So what are you more scared of, the Reddit community or the CS community?
The Nicki Minaj Barb's community.
Oh, you got to be careful with them Barbs, man.
I'd have no issues with them. I do whatever makes y'all happy.
Here, this is what I think about these Barbs is that after I watched that show Swarm by Donald Glover on Amazon Prime, which was like a low-key critique. It wasn't a low-key critique. It was like a loud critique of Beyonce fans. You would have thought that Nicki Minaj fans would have learned that lesson. Like, you see how Beyonce fans got called out and y'all
to be
doing
a
the
Nicki
same
Minaj
thing?
fan is to lack self-awareness.
Absolutely.
But no, I won't say that.
No. You are absolutely correct. Yeah, we can still enjoy her music, but still be critical of the people that still support her.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
her radical.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand on it because I didn't forget when Nicki fans found Megan Thee Stallion's mom's grave and they were threatening to do terrible things to it.
Right, that's one thing I don't play about is Megan Thee Stallion. We protect our Texas women. You can't talk about Beyonce around me. You can't talk about Erykah Badu around me. You can't talk about Megan Thee Stallion around me. We don't play about them women. Those are
the main three. That's the
queens.
big three. That's the Texas big three right there. That's the Texas big three. Erykah Badu, Megan Thee Stallion, Beyonce. I like that.
But yeah, you can't talk about bad about any of them around me. I'll say you can't talk bad about them around me. Oh yeah, and I'm someone that people used to say look like Tory Lanez and all that. Yeah, don't do that free Tory stuff around me. That Daystar should have done right, and he wouldn't have worried about that.
You deserve an apology for that, bro. It used to be a compliment, not anymore.
Oh no, my forehead is not as bad as his, and also I'm not bald.
You have a way better hairline.
I don't have to spray mine on.
Yeah,
I need to get a haircut tomorrow, so that's why I'm not taking this hat.
Yeah,
I've recorded these last 2 episodes with a hat on for a reason. The boys need to get a haircut. I've been told I need to get a haircut on camera. So
who told you to get a haircut?
Heaven only. I have the type of tism that makes me correlate things with.
You think you have the
types of media? Everyone's on the spectrum. If you were born in America, you're definitely on the spectrum. We have too much shit going on wrong with our previous generations, and then also with everything that basically our parents ingested, their parents ingested to get us to this point to where they decided to conceive us. There's no way we don't have any type of anomalies within us that created whatever us Americans are that makes us so disproportionately different from every other person outside of America. I feel like we are.
If you have a voice like this, then you automatically think that people with autism have some type of disease and it needs to be figured out because I'm working for the Trump administration.
Oh, did I go too far?
I still need to have a job, you asshole.
What are you gonna do?
I work for a public-facing entity. I have to have a job.
I was told if you eat the red 40 died from the big red soda, then you would develop a third pinky.
And this is why people need to know I am not the mean one.
The proteins, they do
I am not the mean
brain
one.
activity. This is why Donald Trump elected me into his office.
Again, I am not the mean one.
I want to share something with you that has made me chuckle to myself a little bit. Because nowadays, people think under this administration, they can just do and say whatever the hell they want and just get away with saying the N-word. Mm-hmm. They think they can just, say the N-word and not get, decked in their jaw or whatever. So, but one thing, have you ever been in a situation where someone tried to test you, but you knew that if you responded the way that you want to, then you were going to suffer the consequences?
Daily.
And to add more context to it, I'm talking about how if there was like an issue on a plane. So let's say, white dude called you the N-word on a plane. Are you smacking him or are you holding your tongue? I'm not trying to get on a no-fly list. Those are the type of situations that I think of. If I was in a situation like that, how would I respond?
This morning, tense moments on board a cross-country flight. A passenger allegedly threatening the flight crew and other passengers verbally and physically.
There's information that he struck a flight attendant, so there is injuries.
That Breeze Airways flight traveling from Virginia to LAX, 46-year-old David Leroy Carter Jr., now in custody. The airline saying he was touching passengers and crew and spitting at them.
Wait, pause it.
Police think intoxicated, yelling.
What's up?
Well, hold on. We're not just going to gloss over the name. David Leroy Carter Jr.
Oh yeah, he definitely
Hey,
said the
look at the
N-word.
picture.
With a name like that, you definitely call someone the N-word more than once in your
Pushing,
lifetime.
touching, and spitting at passengers, David Leroy Carter Jr. reportedly was intoxicated, yelling racist slurs and waving a skateboard at passengers on this flight. You wouldn't believe it, boss. I gotta tell you, man. David Leroy Carter Jr. He ain't nothing like David Leroy Carter the first. I'll tell you that much.
Bro, why you sound like Foghorn Leghorn? I tell you what now. I tell you this. He was pushing and touching and spitting at passengers on the crew. No, that sounds like Shannon. No, that sounds like Shannon Sharp just now.
Cause tell me you can't say that name without going country.
David Leroy Carter Jr. Where I'm from, and
it rolls off the tongue. It rolls off the tongue.
Buxington, Kentucky.
That boy definitely was born in the South, cause you ain't getting no name like David Leroy Carter Jr. Like if you ain't been out there before.
My granddaddy is David Leroy Carter the first. David Leroy Carter.
That's who I want to meet. I want to meet David Leroy Carter the first. Cause you gotta say the whole name. Ain't no way this man can introduce himself to me as David Carter. Like just think about how different the name sounds just saying David Carter. Hello, David Carter. But then when you introduce the Leroy in the beginning, in the middle, right there, it says, "Oh, hello, David Carter," or is it "Hello, David Leroy Carter"? If you're from the South, you can't be named Leroy, and I don't. And the droll doesn't come into it.
His initials is DLC.
You're
I
what's
know
wrong
it's
with
dry,
the world.
but it's my humor.
You're what's wrong with the world.
No, it's David Leroy Carter, the Jr. That's what's wrong. Peep this.
Yelling racist slurs and waving a skateboard.
I wanted a picture of that.
Passengers on video trying to keep him in his seat. But according to air traffic...
Can you imagine a whole grown man picking you up from the armpits? From the armpits, bro.
Do you know how much that has to hurt? Like a grown man grabbing you just...
Oh my Lord, bro.
Just yoking you up.
Bro, hold on, bro. Hold on. I gotta see this man's face when he gets picked up.
Passengers on video trying...
David, come on, man. David.
That face. Bro said,
move him. David.
Look at his face. That is a meme. Bro rethought his entire life in this whole picture right here.
Oh my Lord, David, come on, man.
To keep him in his seat. But according to air traffic control...
Can you imagine this man picking you up? Sit your ass down. Sit down. Golly. This is what should have happened.
He just had to...
That's what should have happened.
No, because that would have been a reason to lock another black man
you would
up.
have been on the
That black man handled that. He handled that.
You would have been on a no-fly list if he had done that. David, come on, man.
David.
Audio, he broke free multiple times.
Passenger is free and is using what they were trying to restrain him with as a weapon. Driver hitting people with his it's a waist belt, right? Belt, yes, sir.
One passenger is now being praised for his decisive action subduing Carter.
I just saw black almost, and I just grabbed him and said, yeah. He did get up again, but at that point we were already close to landing, so I just stuck around.
Pilots declaring an emergency, diverting to Grand Junction, Colorado, where police and the FBI were waiting.
Passengers on the plane cheering and booing as he was taken away.
People involved that held him down, when he broke out of his restraints and whatnot, they were like really heroic.
And the airline tells us that one of their flight attendants and another passenger were both evaluated for minor injuries. The FAA is now investigating what happened, Robert.
That was quite a scene there, Trevor.
Somebody get this thug out of the airplane.
These heroes under God.
Oh man. There was a video on TikTok where he was like, he straight up said it with us. He said it with the soft A, not the hard ER. But like, still, it don't make you right.
Does that? I was about to say, does that count as passable?
Absolutely not.
Good.
You're still getting that ass beat.
Can you imagine getting picked up like that? David.
I feel like
expected better out
for
of
you to get picked up like that, you gotta go fight them. I'm not trying
It's
to
not gonna
perpetuate
happen.
violence, but sometimes
No, we are. This is an anti-violent.
I'm not perpetuating violence,
This is
but
an
I feel
anti-violent
like
show.
you have to stick up for yourself at least at that point. You have to at least
Yeah.
say, "Hey, put me down."
Nah, you can't even say that as a grown
Nah,
man.
you at least
Put
have
me
to.
down.
You at least have to stand up for yourself because he just sat there and said, "You have to at least say." You have to at least protest and say, "Hey, put me down. This makes me feel uncomfortable." You have to show that he does not have consent to touch you, even though you're in the wrong. Because whatever, you still, as a human being, if that's not what you want to happen, you gotta at least say, "Hey, don't touch me." Even though he was in a position to where someone should have interrupted that entire interaction. But
David
the fact
Leroy
that a
Carter.
passenger had to do it is a problem. But David Leroy Carter Jr. sounds like he should be working at Bojangles.
If David Leroy Carter got stopped by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, he definitely would have complied. Otherwise, they would have dot him in his eye.
Sir, but you're dealing with David Leroy Carter Jr.
Nah, I don't think you heard me, bro.
No, I heard because David
I
Leroy
don't
Carter.
think you heard me.
David Leroy Carter wouldn't have, but David Leroy Carter Jr. did.
Junior. Yeah, there you go.
Junior
David
did. But the
David
fuss
Leroy
wouldn't.
Carter Jr. should have stopped in Jacksonville. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office would have definitely made him comply. Ask Sheriff T.K. Waters. Comply, or we'll dot you in your eye. That was bars right there. Did you know that the state attorney's office, they're not gonna, look into that
course
young
not.
man's case?
All right, I saw the ruling. I was like, okay,
Mhm.
that's about. I'm not gonna say that.
They said
Yeah,
that
that's
they
about
said that
right.
smack to the face was to make him comply, pretty much. Oh, it was necessary to smack him in the face. I've always had some thoughts about that. And I didn't get to express it, but that ain't right. I've always wanted the sheriff just to admit, like, hey, that smack to the face, like, yeah, was he not being compliant? Yeah, that's a problem. That was the issue. Yes. But just breaking his window open and then smacking him like dead in the face like that, can you at least admit, okay, that was messed up? And that's the part that really pissed me off about the sheriff here.
As someone that's
Just admit that was messed up. Just admit it. Just say it.
Exactly. But also as someone that's dealt with vehicles, do you know how hard you gotta punch a window to break it? Like
Tell me.
he had to have severe intent to break that window and yank him out of there like that. Like, it's not just like, it's not like an action movie where you just, yeah, I got you. Like, no, that is a highly resistant piece of material that he's choosing to apply the adequate force to bust through. That man had ill intent for him. I already know they're going to say, if you say for no reason, there's going to be so many people that push back in the comments like, what do you mean for no reason? Yes, it was for no reason. I remember this one video of a veteran that was very irate with the local police officers that had stopped him for a traffic stop, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going in on them about how they were terrible about de-escalating a situation. And I have always said, especially coming from the college that we come from, the fact that there are police officers out there without a college degree always worried me, for the simple fact that you have people's livelihood and also the power to dictate situations that normal civilians don't have the ability to utilize the same amount of authority And you can do that without having a college degree, which by no means am I saying that a college degree or that piece of paper makes you better than anyone else. But I would feel more comfortable with people that are police officers that have that much authority, that have at least been through a certain curriculum and also been tested in ways that has been certified through peer-reviewed studies and curriculum that would force them to be better at their job. I'm not trying to say that those that do not have a degree are not capable of having and also excelling in certain positions. By no means am I saying that. But I am saying for certain positions, it should require a certain level of education, but also skills training as well. Just like you wouldn't trust a surgeon that has not gone to medical school. I feel like what it takes to be a police officer, it should require more to become a police officer. I feel like it should be required way more because it does require a lot of them for what their job is. And I would have no issue paying police officers more if they had to go to school to get a specific degree, but also get a further. If they wanted to excel in their career, I wouldn't be mad if they had to go get a master's within a certain focus that furthers their understanding of actual policing and understanding policy and application within the demographic that they serve. Because that's also my issue as well. I feel like that the police system needs to be refined to the point that if you don't live in an area, you can't police it.
Oh, I firmly believe that. If you don't live in the community that you police, yeah, you need to live in the community that you police. I firmly believe in that. Police aren't going anywhere. And in this day and age in society, you can say abolish them or defund them. You can say all that, but they're not going anywhere. And if anything, they need to be in the community that they serve. They need to live in the community that they serve and protect. I don't like the idea of someone living in a different county, driving over here to serve and protect, because I'm looking at that point, you're just collecting a check. My tax dollars are going to you so that way you can live in a different county.
Yep.
No, I don't like that idea.
My tax dollars are paying you so you can go pay another county's taxes.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I remember having an ROTC instructor, and this is around the time when Trayvon Martin passed away. And I remember after a morning of PT, she pretty much told the black cadets, don't be going anywhere with no hoodie on. And this was a white woman telling us this. And reflecting on it, I feel like she told us from a place of care. I don't know if you ever recalled that moment.
I do, but also this is not me laughing at the situation. It's more so me appreciating our friendship and how we've come from and why we have this podcast. Because we both have, though we are both similar, we have very different views on things. And this is very much an example of that. For the fact that I remember that interaction and you view it from that sense. I took from that is, oh, she really loves black guys, huh? That's what I took from that situation. That's, I'm sorry.
She had a boy toy. We all knew that.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
But it wasn't a black dude.
But
it wasn't a black dude, though.
But if he was, though. But yes, all right, keep going. I'm sorry. But
yeah, it just remind me of that moment where, you know,
the other race is aware. They are aware. They know.
They know. They know. They know. And it's only and at that point you can either lean into it and be an ally or stray away from it and start and how do I say it, bro?
What are you looking for?
I feel like there's a point when someone who is they realize when they see a discrepancy within any system, that does a disservice to black people and people of color. They can either lean into it and spread the awareness, be an ally, or do what they can to make sure that people like you and me are safe, or they stray away from it and they dig their heels in, but they question us as if we're the problem.
We are the
Why
problem.
didn't he comply? You know, why was he wearing a hoodie at night? You know, why didn't he just stop and talk to them? And you know, why didn't he just give him his ID and not question the person that's doing the weird things in the interaction? And, you know, that's the type of stuff that has me think and reflect sometimes, because there are people who I know that did lean into it and became an ally, and the folks that didn't, especially like when George Floyd passed away, dude. Oh my gosh, the way white folks treat George Floyd as if he's a martyr is so weird to me.
Because when they ask, or when you talk about it, they say he died from an overdose. It's not someone putting their knee into him.
It's weird, man.
It is,
It's
because it's people that want to die on that hill, and it's like, why?
It's not even worth dying on it.
Like, let's be honest. Let's just put it as what it is. A lot of times when they look at what they view to be, what's the word? You know, when basically you get tired of, well, basically what we see, where we get tired of seeing the constant mistreatment of our people. Like, they get tired of it to that extent. And I'm like, okay.
They want to rebrand it and call it black fatigue.
Yes, yes, black fatigue.
When that was for us. That was for us.
But for me, I will always say this. One of the reasons why I love Ryan Coogler is because of how he's gone about black representation.
Yes.
And I've loved the fact that it's not always just a struggle. He's making it actually, we're not separating ourselves into a genre. We are a part of the genre, and we can be the best of this genre.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing for Jordan Peele. Him and A24 are doing great work, because he's like, no, don't view me as a black director. View me as, yeah, I'm black, but I'm still going to compete and be better than y'all. Y'all don't have to classify me. Yes, I love the ability. I will always say this. The fact that we were some of the first black people to do something at SFA, I love that. But also, I don't want us to just be known for that. I take pride in that already. But from a competitive standpoint, don't disclassify us just because we fit into the category of being black. Mm-hmm. We can still compete with y'all and beat y'all. So,
and we still reserve room to celebrate ourselves as well.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, we can celebrate ourselves, but don't disclude us from the overall competition, because y'all know good and well we outpace y'all by a lot in quite a few categories.
Wholeheartedly agree with you, bro. That's why this is a dodge.
This is a dodge.
Message. Yeah. I didn't mean to go on that little miniature tangent.
It wasn't a tangent. It needed to be said.
It needed, you know what? Yeah. Let me stand on business. It needed to be said, because, like, looking back at that incident with that young man, when I watched that video, it felt wrong. And for me as a constituent in the Jacksonville Duval community, I just wanted the sheriff to just admit that, yes, we have the extra body cam video. It shows more context. How he interacted with the police could have been better. Should our police officer smack them dead in the face for that? Nah, I don't think he should have. That was wrong. I just want him to say, yeah, it looks messed up, and we're gonna look into it. But instead, he leaned in, he dug his heels in, and said, "Oh, sometimes perception is reality." That's not a sucker punch. I remember
Those-
watching that.
Those comments made it way worse.
That press conference. It's like, come on, bro.
And that's something I also never understood. How can you adjudicate yourself? How can you go about investigating yourself? The fact that these internal investigations are conducted, which is it may sound hypocritical at working for entities that do similar practices, but also that working for an entity that's willing to bring in a third party to ensure there's no bias. Like the fact that these public entities are allowed to just say, hey, we're investigating ourselves and we found no issue. It's like, where's the unbiased party that comes in and looks at everything?
No checks and balances.
Like
no checks and balances.
As a sports fan, I've always felt weird about that when it came to Roger Goodell and how he arbitrates things. And it's like, so if you're a commissioner that's always supposed to look out for the best interests of the league, and you're the one that's arbitrating a lot of these events when it comes to players and things of that nature, you can't tell me that you are not biased in the way that you view things and how you'll be skewed in your decision making. Like, that's just natural, just based upon who you are and the position that you're in. So let's not BS it at the end of the day. Let's just keep it what it is. And that's always been my problem. This goes into a further tangent that I'm about to go into. That's always been my problem with capitalism that's been in the West. The fact that we know what it is. We all know what it is. But people are just okay with being lied to in their face. No, just come out and say it. Someone's got to be the janitor. Someone's got to be the McDonald's worker. Someone's got to be the supervisor of that McDonald's worker. This is the haves and the have-nots. That is how capitalism works. And the fact that the American dream is built upon the fact that we have to believe a lie that every single one of us can have the same exact lifestyle is a fucking lie. We know that it does not happen, and we know that it will not work out that way, but we have to sell that to so many other people so they will continue to work those menial tasks so that way we don't gotta go do it. And I say that as someone that comes from a very affluent family, but also comes from a point to where I can provide for myself to be able to do those things to where I don't have to. I know
we used to work those jobs too.
Exactly. It's not like we didn't pay our dues, but even with that, I don't believe in the idea of paying your dues. I only say that because it correlates with, it resonates with people a lot easier. But no, there's no such thing as paying your dues. There's no such thing as stopping committing to giving some type of contribution to the overall betterness of the life that we all have to live. Like, regardless if I know my neighbor here or my neighbor there, I have to ensure that I'm doing something on a day-to-day basis that does not impede my life and those around me. Mm-hmm. That is a selfless take that I choose to have on a day-to-day basis. I feel like if more people chose to do that, we would be in a better place, but we're not. And that's why we have politicians that are forcing us to compete with each other to figure out who's going to have and have not. And while they have everything that we want.
We can make the Texas gerrymandering thing a perfect example of the competition of who can have and who can't not.
Because they don't want Jasmine Crockett to have anything. They don't want
she would definitely be Senator John Cornyn.
Oh, she will. Oh, she will wipe him.
She would definitely be Senator John Cornyn. Absolutely,
she would wipe him.
When I was working in East Texas, I would talk to Republican voters, and they would express to me how much they had this disdain for politicians like John Cornyn and Ted Cruz, but they'll still vote him in because they'd rather have a Republican in office. And I just think that I thought that was so backwards, in my opinion, where Texas has been under Republican leadership for the past 30 years since I've been born.
Longer than we've been born. But it's
the last time that
way
Texas
longer
had a
than we've been
Democratic
born.
governor was like in the 80s or something.
Yeah, it's been way longer than we've been born. Like, no, Texas has been red all our lives.
Same thing here in Florida. Florida's been under Republican leadership for 12 years?
Yeah.
Cost of living is expensive. There's a lot. We got alligator Alcatraz going on. We got another immigrant detention camp here in Northeast Florida. Okay. You got all these corporations and developers buying up all these houses.
Mm-hmm.
There's no room for the working people out here. And the last thing you want to, and now you want to be like, oh, we got to doge this and doge that. What do you mean we got to doge this and doge that? Who's been running the state? And now you want your wife to possibly run for governor? That's crazy, my boy. I don't know if you knew that.
I'm fully aware. But look at what's been allowed. Who's going to tell them no?
Texas and Florida. This is my opinion. This is my hot take. And it's not really a hot take. I think it is what it is. Texas and Florida is the example. They're the experiment states of what to expect for the rest of America. You see what they do? Like, y'all are dealing with these gerrymandering issues in Texas. We're about to get ours real soon. Yeah.
Just based upon being in Texas, I have a feeling, which is the main thing that keeps my hope for the future. Republicans are doing what a good gambler would not do. They went all in on Trump. They went all in on the ideologies that would keep them in power without understanding how much of their future they are sacrificing. Because they have to remember, one of my political science professors said it best. We are sadly in a point especially when Trump came in office, where the political ideologies and the reality of where America is not aligned with the voters that would see it. So it was going to take at least a decade to get there. And that was around the 2014, 2015 era. So those kids that had to see all this growing up, that's one thing that I don't think conservatives take into account. Who's coming after them? They're only thinking about themselves and going forward. They're not thinking about who's coming before them. And I think that there's going to be a big push that, especially with the way that Trump's going and the way that the conservative movement is starting to really build up a wall against him, which I don't want to go into a conspiracy theory. We talked about it last episode. I don't think
you have questions.
I have questions on whether or not Trump's going to make it through this entirety of this term, not based on health or medical or anything, just based off the fact that I don't think that his base, they're not protecting him like they used to. He does not have that shield in front of him where every single Fox host and every single Newsmax host and all of them are doing the most to protect him. There are so many people that speak up against him. The fact that Joe Rogan and all those right-wing comedians and all that
don't get me started on Joe Rogan.
They're doing the shift back to the left. I'm telling you, you're going to see that shift.
And I'm going to push him back out like, no.
You're not allowed over here. But I say all that to say...
Sit on that decision. Sit on that.
I say all that to say, they did all this. I don't see another Republican getting elected for another decade.
I've said this time and time again. You cannot trust the Republican Party after this. Can't even call them you cannot call them the Republican Party after this. You can't. They are forever MAGA at this point.
The PDF files that he would not, because remember, we cannot say that name or we will get demonetized. The PDF files that he refused to release, his base will remember that. And they'll remember that, oh, y'all had the chance to put everything out and y'all didn't. Let's be honest. We care about the MLK files, but we know what happened. You didn't have to tell us that. His base don't care about the MLK files.
Bro,
what?
He released the MLK files despite the family saying, please don't do it. I just think that's so disrespectful.
No. Do you know what makes it more disrespectful? He didn't do it out of justice. He did it as a distraction.
Out of the kindness of his heart. Yeah. It wasn't out of his bleeding heart.
That's why he did it against them. Because it wasn't because, no, I'm doing this to do justice for your father. No, you did that as a distraction. His family knew what you were doing. They're not dumb. They're one of the most educated families when it comes to these principal staple families when it comes to
Mhm.
civil rights movement leaders and their established legacies. Like, come on now, we're not dumb. That's one thing that I will always say. You can do a lot of things when it comes to me. Don't treat me like I'm dumb. And that's my biggest complaints when it comes to conservatives and right-wingers. They will treat you like you are dumb. No, we're not. We see it. Their base doesn't. But, you
I
know.
think.
Oh, wait, I would say their base does, but they also know it enriches them. Because there are some, because like I said, let's be honest. People like you and I, as much as all these policies, more so executive orders and tariffs, can affect the overall populace, to the extent that it will affect us, life is going to carry on for us. We live in a red state, but we're also affluent. We both live in red states, but we're also living in red states to the point to where we're not struggling. So
Red state, blue city. I live in a swing city.
But think about it. They're not about to. Both of our governors are kowtowing and licking boots. Nothing's going to happen out here. But if you go to Chicago, New York, LA, they have to worry about that stuff, even though that they are in affluent cities and all that. But yet we're still here talking about it. To the extent that it won't affect us, I still understand that it's going to affect so many other people. And that's why you have to speak up. That's why you have to say something.
You brought it up not so long ago about how certain states like Texas like just leaned in heavily on this. They pretty much triple trumped. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because you have the president demanding 5 seats from Texas.
And now he's trying to offer 10.
And Governor Abbott is just like, oh, well, since if Gavin's going to Gavin-mander California, then we're going to do 10. So the fact that he's leaning in to this Trump train is disturbing, because guess what Georgia did when the president asked for 11,000 votes? They're like, no, straight up no. There's no checks and balances. So I want to see what's the next red state going to do. He's doing it. I think one person said it best. I think it was Joy Reid, where she said, Trump can do whatever he wants with his base. He can do whatever he wants. He doesn't care. There was a big ass tornado in Arkansas, and if I'm not mistaken, that is Governor Huckabee Sanders, where she asked for FEMA assistance. Yeah, let me.
Oh yeah.
Let me verify.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, Huckabee, and she asked for help, and
she asked for FEMA. She asked for FEMA assistance, and the Trump administration said no. Texas get a big ass flood. Oh yeah, we'll get you all the money that you need. The governor of Maryland.
Yep, it was Huckabee.
Yeah, the governor of Maryland asked for federal assistance after they had some tornadoes that ravaged through some cities and towns, and in a red county.
But he will talk mess about
Trump administration
Baltimore,
said no.
While Baltimore's mayor has their crime rate going down.
Bro, remember when you were like,
this
is... Yeah, and crime is going down in Baltimore. That's how they say it. They
Baltimore and Chicago. Because they love using Chicago as they burning point.
What about Chicago?
Well, what about Chicago?
What about Chicago?
We make up 13%. Wait. They love this.
You want to talk about Chicago? What about Taylorville, Illinois? Where they cooking up the meth labs over there?
They love this stat. We make up 13% of the population, but we make up 50% of the crime. Actually, we don't.
Oh, man. I love it when they bring up the 1350. I love it when they bring up the 1350.
They love that per capita number.
Brother, this guy stinks!
They don't even know how to even interpret per capita per a population and then how that ratio works. Because guess what? They don't understand how statistics work and how 13% can make up 50%. For one, have you even...
First of all, 1350 is a lie.
Thank you. That's what I was about to say.
When I hear someone say 1350, I know you lying.
That's why I'm like,
I know you lying.
Y'all basically got y'all information from Facebook and just ran with it. Y'all never vetted anything. Y'all haven't gone to libraries. Y'all don't know what peer-reviewed studies are. Y'all don't know what anything is when it comes to any type of research. Because when it comes to the idea of, oh, well, you went to college, so you think you're smarter than me? No, I just know how to vet actual sources compared to you who believes everything that you see on Facebook.
I was talking to my father about this. About how when it comes to these conservative critics and how they always want to bring up crime and whatnot, they don't bring up crime because they care about the community. They don't care out of their bleeding hearts that they want to see a change in these cities where crime happens. They don't care. They don't have the thought process to ask why after they make the statement. They're not solution oriented. They just want to create the problem. That's all they want to do. They want to talk about they want to create the problem. They want to talk about it, but they never want to come to a solution. They never want to ask why. Well, why is there so much crime over here? Oh, because there's over policing, or maybe because the city council back in 1973 passed this ordinance that impacted a large community over here, and now this group of people is paying for decades later. Stuff like this happens. You know what I'm saying? They never want to ask why. They always want to just call out the problem. They want to call out the problem, and then and that's what gets this base riled up. They never want to do some critical thinking. They never want to say, well, how come that is the case? Why is it like that? You know, what created this problem? They don't ask the question. They just look at it and say, well, that's an issue. Crime's an issue. Yes. We all get it. We all want to live in a safe neighborhood. I want to live in a safe neighborhood. I want to live in a safe community. Crime is going to happen regardless, though. But in situations when it does happen, we need to ask why. Why did it happen? How did it happen? How can we make sure this does not happen again? They don't want to do that. Never want to be solution oriented. Never. Until it impacts them. Sorry for going on a tangent like that.
No, you're fine.
But I see it all. I see it all the time, bro. I see it all the time. They never want to ask why. They never want to ask they don't want to ask the tough questions.
Because think about it.
They never want to ask it.
It goes back to what we were talking about earlier. How many, well, you know how we say, I don't believe a police officer should be able to work in a place he don't live. How many people make those arguments about Chicago and LA and all that don't live there?
Oh my gosh. The way that they were talking about crime in LA.
You would think that every single person that mentions LA lived there. No, they don't. They live in Arkansas. They live in Kansas. They live in Mississippi. It's like, what do you know? You've never left your zip code. So how would you know about anything that leave? That's one thing. Do you know what is crazy? Majority right-wingers have never left 15 miles outside their vicinity. Guess what? I don't even know if that's a real statistic. I just said it and I bet y'all would believe it. Like, I don't take serious right-wingers serious at all, because y'all are literally rooted in hatred and misinformation. I have no reason to believe what you have to say. You're like a flat earther to me. I have no reason to believe what you have to say, because at some point, right-wingers were no longer Republicans. Right-wingers are no longer Republicans. MAGA is not Republican. Because you know what? At least being from Texas, at least we had some point of remembering when politics were respectable on both sides. Like, as much as he gave my parents hell, they have both said, at least back then when McCain and George W. Bush were the Republican candidates, there was decorum. There was respectability on both sides. We don't have that anymore.
Their policies were still ass.
The fact that our current president is how many times divorced, so many times bankrupt, has had affiliations with porn stars. That would have been considered a death pill when it comes to your political career. But all of a sudden, because he says the things that makes y'all feel good about your hatred, it's tolerable.
Here's a good question.
Obama got killed for a tan suit. That's all I gotta say.
All the things that Trump has done, would you have let your mayor get away with that?
Message. Would you have let your boss get away with that?
Message.
Would you have let your spouse get away with the things he's done as a spouse? Would you have let your landlord, what he's done as a real estate mogul, get away with? Would you have let so many things that he's gotten away with, but besides the fact that he makes you feel good about the racial and the depravity? I don't have the ability to voice it.
It's the type of stuff that makes you crash out just thinking about it, bro.
Because he makes you feel comfortable in the fact that you're uncomfortable around certain people, you like him. You like the fact that your identity that you did not have prior to Trump
is challenged.
Because I take it back to an old episode, that content creator that said it. Who were you before you were a MAGA? Because a lot of y'all if your politics are your identity, I feel sorry for you. If your politics are your identity, I feel sorry for you because you need more going for you in life. Besides, this is what I believe and this is all I can be. Like, if for one, you should be able to look around my place and not tell who I voted for. The fact that we know who MAGA are, we know exactly who they are. Like, because that's their entire identity. There's nothing to them outside of, this is who I voted for. This is who I love. This is what I believe. Anything that triggers the libs, that's my entire identity. And that's why you feel empty inside. That's why you feel unfulfilled. That is why your life is still the same as it was when he was in president. Because he does not care about your core interests. And he will do nothing to enrich you. But he says the things that makes you feel good because you like offending the libs and doing all that extra shit, except for enriching yourself. I'm sorry. I hate to have gone off that tangent, but that agitates me.
Hey,
they put aside their well-being to be able to spew hate. It makes no sense. And it's not hate. It's just what I believe. Yeah, you believe in hatred. I'm sorry, because both of us are Christian.
Yeah.
Yes, there are some views that we don't align with. You wouldn't be able to tell based on how we talk. You know why? Because we believe in what we've been preached. Like, yeah.
You want to be anti-gay, but want to wear another man's name on your forehead and chest.
Won't be gay, but will wear a whole nother man's last name on your back for a sporting event. Won't be gay, but you won't even hold up the main tenements of the Bible. Oh, the Old Testament doesn't count. Oh, but you won't even uphold the parts of the New Testament where they tell you to take care of the homeless, where they tell you to go about life in a way that where you're not selfishly thinking about only yourself, but you will only do that because you got to get rid of the homeless people, because guess what? You don't want to drive down the property value on your brand new $500,000 estate that's only 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, but you could have got that outside somewhere else. Like, come on, let's be honest. Let's really be honest with you.
Up.
Go ahead,
I'm glad you brought that up, bro. Because all right, because look how he's treating the homeless people, and look how he's treating DC. Real quick, bro. Look how he's treating DC. Let me share that screen real quick. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. Look how he's treating. This is the White House Twitter account.
Oh,
bro,
that POTUS account kills me.
This is the White House Twitter account. Operation Making D.C. Safe and Beautiful. Multi-agency task force are hitting the streets of Washington, D.C., cleaning up crime and keeping our neighborhoods safe. In just one night, they arrested 37 criminals, seized 11 illegal firearms, and issued 4 narcotic charges. Look at this. Excuse me? My boy, they haven't even gone through the system yet. They haven't even gone through the system yet. Now, I'm not gonna say what they did was right or wrong. I'm just saying how y'all displaying this.
No, I'll say
mad
it's wrong.
problematic.
That is completely wrong.
I'm saying like what these people are accused of. I'm not saying free them. I'm saying is how y'all are presenting them. I think that's wrong.
I completely agree, and I say that as
they haven't been convicted or anything. You know what I'm saying? They have not been through the entire system yet. And can you imagine if the White House you don't even have a mugshot, bro?
I'll say this though. It's legal in America for them to do that.
Yeah.
That's where I would correct and then say, maybe we should preempt it with saying the White House has never presented it in this way. It has never, ever shown stuff like that to the degree. If anything, the White House's account has shown like when Osama bin Laden died. Maybe that's it. But to do it on such a small local level for that amount is obviously a targeted.
They didn't do that when ICE was in LA.
They didn't do that.
But you want to do it in Chocolate City? So we were talking about how this current administration, the way they're moving in Chocolate City versus how they were moving with ICE in LA. And they're using their Twitter page to just put these people who have not been convicted yet on blast. Local people in the community. These aren't El Salvadorian gang members, who are out here causing chaos. You know what I'm saying?
I'm agreeing with you. They're U.S. A lot of them actually, because he said it. We gotta start getting rid of our homegrowns. These are people that become
homegrowns. Yeah,
there are some people that become U.S. citizens that they're trying to get rid of. There are people that just because you are a certain color, they're trying to get rid of. I say that as someone that lives on a street where if I just turn right and keep going, especially in the mornings, I see day workers there every single day. Driving past there, sadly, I have to say, especially when Trump became president, there weren't as many over there anymore. I've seen times where I'm just driving by just to go where I need to go. I'm not even at work. So this is not a weekday where if they're sitting out there, they see a certain car, they run. And the car that's passing by is just driving by. Or maybe I'm just that naive that I don't know that could be just undercover. But that also goes into it. Though we are minorities, we don't have to deal with that level of anxiety, which is crazy to think.
That level of scrutiny.
Because I know within the part of Dallas that I stay, there's a big population of immigrants that come here. And they are preyed upon. There was a time where people had to go advocate for the simple fact that why are y'all sitting here scoping out and doing stakeouts to see what immigrant children are going to walk into school so you can pick them up? That is sad. And the fact that there are grown men running to apply to be a part of those people that get to round up all these people, either wrongly or immorally, that is sad. Like, yes, ICE pays a bunch, but goodness, you're just doing this to people? You breaking up families? Like that's wild to me.
Here's my issue, bro. The way that people had callous hearts towards our Latino community based on how a small group of people voted, they want to say, oh, that's their problem. So we're just going to focus on ourselves. And now it's out our front door because Chocolate City, look what happened is over there. We just showed you how the White House put a bunch of people on their Twitter page of people who have been arrested and charged, not convicted. Mind you, they have not been convicted. The judge has not slammed the gavel on any of them. And look how they treating us in Chocolate City in Washington, D.C. It is finally at our door. And for all the people that said this is not our problem, it is now our problem. Now it is our problem. You see what's happening in Washington, D.C., you need to speak up. So my challenge to people who are listening, you need to reach out to your council member. You need to reach out to your mayor. Stacey Abrams, who ran for governor in Georgia twice. Unfortunately, she lost, but she is an intelligent woman. She said, you need to think nationally, but talk locally.
I think that's how we need to be. We need to start moving like that. We need to start moving. Think national, talk local. That means you need to start challenging your mayor, start challenging your county commissioner. You need to start challenging who is part of the planning and zoning committee. We need to get into that nitty gritty detail like that. You know, who's in charge of the health department? You know what I'm saying? Who's your city attorney?
It goes back to what we were saying earlier. We should not allow police to police areas that they do not live in. But also, do the people that represent you in your local government truly represent who is a part of that community that they're representing? Are you electing people that really represent the community you live in? Or are the people that currently represent you more so a representation of your lack of voter participation? Because also, I will go ahead and say this. Well, I know we talked about doing hot takes. My hot take is, if your current municipality, your local government is ran by someone you don't like, go ahead and do an assessment to see how much your local impact affected who got elected. Because if who represents you does not match what you feel is a true representation of who they are representing, that is more so indicative of certain things, I would say. I won't specify for the simple fact that I know it can be misconstrued, but I'm only saying this to invite and entice people to be more participatory in their local government and the choices that go into it, because it matters so much more once you learn on a micro level how that works and how it applies to the greater majority. Once you learn how your local government affects you, you can see how the greater side of it affects you, whether it be local to statewide to national. You have to have that understanding. Yes, I understand it asks a lot of you, especially if you work a full-time job and have a family. Yes, you are asked to bear a lot, but it comes with being a responsible adult. I'm sorry.
They want you to be ignorant, though. They want you to not care.
They want to bog you down with so many things that you don't have the energy to care.
That is absolutely true.
Capitalism is built to tire you out to the point that you can't care about what is going to end up leaving you oppressed. Because if you're, again, it goes back to who are the haves and the have-nots.
Someone has to lose.
Someone's got to lose in this equation. As much as we are trying to push a message, we'll just be transparent with you. If it came down to it, yeah, we're going to choose the survival of our family and ourselves over a lot of things. But there are certain things we won't compromise. And I feel that...
I'm not joining ICE.
Thank you. Like, I think the miseducation of America was making us think that there's no such thing as a gray area to allow you to come up with your own identity within that area. They want you to be they want you to think in radicals. They don't want you to think that there's a space in between. They want you to think that you got to be either on this side or that side. Simple as that. They don't want you to think there's an in-between where you can find common ground. The idea of common ground defeats capitalism.
My issue is that the people who are at the top, the ones that we should be looking up at, they are sending folks down here on our level to distract us from on our left and right. If that makes sense.
No,
so
it
if
does.
we have it, like if we have a MAGA at the top, who's trickling down? Who's trickling down to us? So your Steven Crowders and all them, your Charlie Kirks and your Ben Shapiro's, your Candace Owens.
That's towards the social media side of it. But also it creates the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world. It creates the one that got caught giving the one that did the thing in the movie theater.
Lauren Boebert.
Yeah, her. I haven't heard much from her in a while.
She been quiet. You know who's been making a lot of noise though? Like this Nancy May. The one that when Jasmine Crockett was like, child, and Nancy Mace was like, we can take this outside. I ain't no child.
Nancy Mace didn't want no problem. She didn't want no part. She didn't want no parts of JC. She didn't want no problem. You
don't want none
JC and I from the same hood. She don't want no problems with that one.
Nancy, you are 47 years old. Give it a rest.
And I'm just being very funny when I say that. Jasmine Crockett is a very highly, highly respectable woman that has achieved far greater than a lot of her constituents. Because you know why? Because black women have to achieve 150% just to get 75%. So
I said something similar where they have to work 4 times as hard. We're black men, we have to work twice. Black women have to work 4 times as hard.
It's bared out in the economics. So where every white straight male makes $1, typically Asian to white women are going to make closer to 70% of that. Those that are within the minorities of black or Hispanic are going to make close to the 60 to lower 40% of that. And then the others are going to be within that higher 40s to 30%. And that's when you get more into your undocumented and all that. But either way, it has shown literally, it's crazy to me. The darker you go, the lower it goes from when you take the white man's dollar and bear it out to what a woman would make. The darker they get, the lower the amount they get. You notice that, that contrast when it goes to it. Because like I said, Asian women are around that 80th percentile to 70th percentile. White women are right around there too. And then the darker you get, you start to notice. I'm pretty sure you can look it up now. When you look at how much a white man makes compared to all women in America, the darker it gets, the lower the amount goes. It's sad, but I've always said it and I've always seen it. Though I'm speaking from an anecdotal point, every time I've seen it, I have nothing but successful black women in my family. So whenever there are men that are talking about black women and they talk about them in a negative connotation and they're like, yeah, you see that? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't see that. Every woman that I've grown up around has become successful. So I don't understand what it means to be around unsuccessful black women. So I will always view all black women as having that potential to be that. I don't view black women in a negative sense as not from a simping point. I've never understood that. But I can't say that I love my mother. I can't say I love that I can't say that I love my sisters. I can't say I love that I can't say that I love my nieces, my cousins, every single black woman in my family. I can't say I love them if I'm out here degrading them with the way that I speak about them and defend them in public. Because anytime that there's been a time where I've been at work that that someone mentions a black woman that she's not around to defend herself, guess what? I'm defending them. I don't care. I have a real big principle about, because my family taught it to me. We can talk about each other. When it comes to black people, we can critique each other. But when it comes to being out in public, no, I don't care. You can be in the wrong. I'm still going to defend you. But when we get home, I'm on your head. My LB, I love him. He told us that all the time. He was like, hey, if you get into a fight out in the party, I'm going to fight with you. But just know when you get done, you're going to have to fight me too. I have that same view when it comes to black people. Hey, I got you. I'm going to defend you in public. But when we get back, I'm on your head. Like we can't afford not to view ourselves like that. We really can't. Like, they're already trying to separate us in so many ways, but we've diverged so much. But yeah.
I hope y'all are getting the point that we're trying to make.
This was one of our more unstructured episodes.
Multiple points. Yeah, this is more raw, less structured, and occasionally we'll do stuff like this.
You know, we said
occasionally.
We did say it. Sometimes you just gotta have that unfiltered talk, and we just.
This is our porch at the end of the day.
Because also we've been It's only August. We're only halfway through August, and this country has been through so much already.
We only got
we are
3.5 more years left.
We're already tired, and we're only halfway through the first year. Like, come on now. Like, something's got to give.
Make sure y'all register to vote, please, because the way that they gerrymandering, the way that they trying to rig the game, redistrict mid-decade, I've never heard of anything like that.
No one has, and that's why. I don't know if you saw the video of what's his name, Will Cain on Fox News running from the Texas Democrat.
Yeah, and then he had a whole attitude about it.
Sorry, I'm on live news. You know, the product of the business.
Yeah, he had a whole attitude about it. I'm gonna pull up the soundbite real quick. 1 second, bro.
Just in case y'all,
I'm gonna mute myself while you're talking.
Just in case y'all aren't aware, when you deal with people who are having bad faith arguments, when you hammer them down on points that they can no longer argue, they become truly who they are within that debate and argument. That's why I've always said I don't debate dumb stuff. I will argue with you because if I'm arguing, it's trolling at that point. I have no intent on winning a conversation if I'm arguing with you. But if you're willing to engage in a good faith conversation, then we can consider that a debate. But if I can tell that I'm arguing, then no, I'm just trolling you at that point. I'm not about to engage seriously.
Hey, this is Will Cain's reaction after he got.
Nope.
And if that wasn't enough, what Tallarico did on social media was deceptively edit our 10-minute conversation into about 70 seconds of what he thinks are slam dunks, what I think are clearly lies, with no response from me. And makes it look like we said goodbye. It's short on time. We have to go. We have to run. I gave Tallarico 2 more minutes after telling him we're tight against time. He used that time like Jill Biden to talk about breakfast tacos if that makes him a Texan. Where I come from, being a Texan is someone with a steel spine and something between their knees, between their legs. That something gives you the integrity to tell the truth. Now, I don't know what the voters of Round Rock, Texas think about what it means to be a Texan, but if Tallarico is any evidence, it means being a fraud.
If Republican policies are...
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Will Cain's from Texas?
Look up where he's from in Texas.
Will Cain. Sherman.
Exactly.
Grayson County.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about, you know what?
It is the largest city in the Texoma region, north of Texas and southern Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
My boy, you an Oklahoman. Shut up.
Mm-hmm. You barely from Texas, but you have all these strong
opinions.
opinions.
From Texas.
You barely from
I'm
Texas.
from Texas. My boy Nick from Texas.
We're literally born
Texan
in the heart of Texas.
Hell yeah. The hell you talking about? What part of Texas you from? Shut your ass up, man. Come on.
He's from the panhandle of Texas. So if this is the panhandle, he's at that part of the pan.
Yeah. Man, shut up, Will Cain. Who the hell are you?
Because that's one thing I don't get. Like I said previously, I don't have a problem with Republicans. I have a problem with right-wingers and extreme MAGA people. And he's one of them. Because there was a point to where you could have a conversation with a Republican and they can see your point and would concede it. They could have a point and we could see it and we could concede it. Because guess what? We as progressive young men that are from Texas, we also hold certain conservative views. Like I very much hold the view when it comes to your right to bear arms. Like,
yeah.
I fully agree with it. You should have the right to bear arms. I also agree on certain things when it comes to the progressive side. That's one thing when people hear us being progressive, they're like, oh, well, that means you're Democrat. No, we are whoever aligns with progressive ideals, which tend to align.
I'm aligned with the party that can give me my best chance of survival. And right now, it's been the Democratic Party. Am I loyal to them? No, but they're the ones that are doing the work that I want to see.
Because at the same time, that's why they don't want to educate you on history, because they don't understand, like, oh, well, who freed the slaves? It was the Republican. Well, yeah, but then there was a party shift at certain points within that same century. But if you don't know your history, then you will just look at a blanket statement like that and think that it's true.
And the Republican Party, they can't call themselves the party of Lincoln no more. They can't.
If you fly that Confederate flag, then I can't take you serious.
Not at all.
You lost.
And you brought it to the Capitol on January 6th. The hell is wrong with you?
You lost. I don't get it. Why do you want to be associated with losers?
Why should your statue stay up? Like,
J.D. Vance couldn't even speak to it, why they were trying to rename military bases after him.
You can say, you can disagree on, it's heritage, not hate. They still lost at the end of the day. They lost. But you know what? We winning, bro, because the brand is slowly getting strong. You want to wrap it up on this point?
Yeah, I'm down to wrap it up.
Here's something that we can share. We got our first 50 streams and downloads on Spotify. So shout out to whoever's been listening to us on Spotify. We definitely appreciate you. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see the 50 streams and downloads turn into 100 and then 150 to 1,000. I can't wait to see this brand just slowly grow. I'm looking forward to this journey. So to all those who have been listening, even if you agree or disagree, send us an email, porchlighttheory@gmail.com. Again, that's porchlighttheory@gmail.com. Send us an email. Share us your thoughts. And by the way, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, because it's people like you that help find this channel. Nick, is there anything you want to say, bro?
More life, more love. Get more hugs.
Definitely a great way to end it all. Thank you so much for taking the time out to watch and listen episode 7 of the Porch Light Theory. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was episode 7. Episode 8 is on the way. Peace.
Yeah, have a good time.